We are doing a course in miracles, workbook for students, lesson 33. There is another way. And we're making lunch.
We're making chai.
And we're making chai. Okay, there is another way of looking at the world. Today's idea is an attempt to recognize that you can shift your perception of the world in both its outer and inner aspects. A full 5 minutes should be devoted in the morning and evening applications. In these practice periods, the idea should be repeated as often as you find comfortable through unhurried applications, or though unhurried applications are essential. Alternate between surveying your outer and inner perceptions, but without an abrupt sense of shifting. Merely glance casually around the world you perceive as outside yourself, then close your eyes and survey your inner thoughts with equal casualness. Try to remain equally uninvolved in both, and to maintain this attachment as you repeat the idea throughout the day. There's another way of looking at the world. The shorter exercise periods should be as frequent as possible. Specific applications of today's idea should also be made immediately when any situation arises which tempts you to become disturbed. These applications say, there's another way of looking at this. Remember to apply today's idea the instant you are aware of distress. It may be necessary to take a minute or so to sit quietly and repeat the idea to yourself several times. Closing your eyes will probably help in this form of application. There's another way of looking at the world. There's another way of looking at this. I remember when what was I? I was probably in my 20s still. I had gone to Missouri because my grandparents had called me and told me that God wanted me to live in Missouri. And I was living in Central California at the time, in Fresno. And I really wanted to do what God wanted me to do. And so the patriarchs of my family and my grandparents, they were the ones who everybody relied on to know what was right. And they told me this, and so I thought, oh, crap, well, I really don't want to go to Missouri, but, got to do what God wants. And so I ended up moving to Missouri, and I was depressed for like 3 years the whole time I was there.
Were they in Missouri?
Here in Missouri too, yeah. Yeah, they had moved out there from California as well, and had bought a church and bought a bunch of buildings and houses, and they'd started a life and tried to start a ministry, and they did start a ministry out there. So I mean, really, really good intentioned people. They really gave their whole life in their own pursuits to serve God and serve people. So that part was beautiful, but they were very confident. They were very confident on their perception of the world, and they would wrangle in everybody they could in there, and they made their idea the only way. And they would say things to me like, you could either obey God or be in self-will, run riot. Self-will, run riot. That they like to say that. Basically, your self-will is like, selfish, sinful behavior, doing things against God's will. And by the way, God's will is what we say or what we think.
Right. You gotta do what we say, or else. Yeah,
that's right. In their mind, they were sincere. They weren't trying to trick me, but yet at the same time, it was their perception. So there's a way of looking at the world. And I remember laying in bed, crying myself to sleep many nights, just because I was so lonely and so depressed, and I hated being out there. I left all my friends and left my family they were my family, but I had left another big chunk of my family that I enjoyed more, at least. And it was this crazy, depressing world that I had. And it was just so interesting how that whole world, I mean, it could have been much different. I ended up going back years later for a short amount of time, like 9 months. And I did my own thing. My grandparents had said, hey, come back, you know, because I had left after 3 years. I'm like, this is hell for me, even though you say I might go to, basically you're insinuating I might go to hell if I leave Missouri. I'm already in hell, so I want to take a risk. I'm out of here. But then years later I came back and I ran my own ministry, and it was way better. So same place, same people, same activity, same everything, but my experience was night and day better. It was so much more rewarding. It was so much more fluid. It was so much more challenging. Everything was better. And what was the difference? Well, it was just the way I was looking at the thing. One way I felt like I was trapped, and the other way that I felt like that it was my choice, and it was an adventure and a game. I think that's how everything is. There's no way that in any time we're disturbed, we're disturbed just because it's the way we're looking at it. We're looking at it as disturbing, as my confines, my jail. But my jail has a jailer, and that jailer has a key, and I'm all of it. I'm the jail, I am the jailer, I am the key. I am the prisoner. What are we going to do with that?
I'm so glad you brought that up. It's actually, hold on, let me get situated.
Sure. There's another way of looking at this.
So yeah. So I've been just the other day, there was this coworker that was telling me, she was basically well, okay, so I'm an underwriter. She's an account manager. So I underwrite, she deals with the brokers. And she comes to me and it's like, I tried to explain this to the broker, but they're not understanding. Can you help me? And I was like, okay, do you want to underwrite these 6 loans that I have to do today and I'll deal with the broker? And which is authentic to me. Because like being like, oh, I'm so sorry that things aren't working for you and blah, 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 blah. Like, that's not authentic to me.
Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, this was yesterday. So of course I was also stressed because I had my last 2 finals yesterday. And then she's like coming at me and I had 6 new decisions to do, which I usually get like 3 or 4. So I was like super just like, okay, and I can't work late. I have to end on time. So anyway, and then she's coming, so I was all like, and I wasn't like, I was kind of like joking about it, but I wasn't really joking, right? I was basically saying, hey, you do your job, I'm going to do mine. And again, that is more authentic to me, but it's still like, there's something about it that it's still bothering me, right? Like, oh, that wasn't very nice. That wasn't very whatever. And so I wonder though, because I do feel like if I was doing it like you Missouri round 2, of, hey, this is authentic to me, this is what resonates with my soul, then I wouldn't be sitting here 24 hours later, like, man, and I don't even know what to, like, how to put it into words, but like pinpoint exactly what it is, but because
What's the difference between authentic and perception? Because I didn't say authentic. I said how I was perceiving it, how I was engaging with it.
Oh,
Because what does authentic presuppose?
it feels right.
Well, yeah, it presupposes that there is a way, the authentic way, the one authentic way. At least in my mind, that's what it brings up. If I'm being authentic, I'm gonna be the way that I am, rigid, defined, right? Versus I'm gonna pretend like I care to get you out of my office, go do your job. I'm in that world, so I get it. But you know what I mean? That if you say I need to be authentic to be happy, it presupposes that you even know who you authentically are.
Presupposes I know who I authentically am. Interesting.
Yeah. So if I'm going to engage in a different way, if that's true, if you have to engage in a different way or in different circumstances, that's against that situation or that person who you authentically are, then you have to be miserable or you have to be distressed. That's the words. And so what if your authentic self is not your authentic self either? It's just another perception. Or because in this context, your authentic self is just another filter, because your true ultimate authentic self is not an underwriter versus a broker. Right? But yet it could feel that way if you're thrust into more a client facing sales position, which is not at all what an underwriter does.
Yeah.
But how you contextualize it can cause internal distress of this is wrong. I shouldn't be here. I should be somewhere else, which is all distress. That's what's happened in Missouri. I shouldn't be here. I'm giving up my life. I'm giving up the best time. I'm giving up what I should have, which is friends and a girlfriend. I'm giving up time with my family. I'm giving up my freedom. This sucks. This sucks. This sucks. This sucks. It's like that was my conversation in Missouri, and every time I'm in, that's what my conversation was kind of like when I was in just my job that I just quit.
Mm.
And funny enough, here I am. I ended up renting my office from my old CEO, doing my business. So I'm sitting in the same spot I was saying before. I'm doing the same deals. I'm having the same conversations with the same people. And the one thing that I hated the most was talking to brokers, because I'm on committee making decisions. I'm just giving them data. Yes, no, yes, no. Hated talking to brokers because these brokers want to tell me a story. I'm like, I don't care about your story.
Yeah.
This is not how I feel about you, so I give you money. This is an underwriting decision based on the data.
Oh my
I
God.
don't want your story, right? And so it would just bug me. I would never answer my phone call, never. And I would always just text them. If you'd like a scenario and terms, please email me. That's it. No one ever got to talk to me. But now, I'm willing to hear people's stories, right? Because I have to. Well, two reasons. One, if I can't have them email me, because if they email my old email, it doesn't get to me. They turned off. So I need to talk to them at least to let them know when they call me, hey, here's my email. And so I'm talking to people every time they call me now. And so I'm doing the exact thing that I always hated doing as well, along with the situation being different. Now I'm doing mostly what I avoided the most before, which was talking to brokers. And different context now of, hey, I want to talk to you. Same everything. Now I want to talk to you because my goals shifted, sort of. I was in charge of closing deals before, but now I have to close deals to survive. That's the only money I'm getting, as opposed to I'm going to make sure it's a deal and send it to one of my guys before. And I'm talking to these people. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, well, this is kind of wasting a bunch of time, but relationship, it is interesting. It's a very interesting conversation. They're trying to convince me it's not going to work. I still want the data, but they're people just like me. I'm like trying to talk myself. Anyway, sorry. What is that? How does that land to your situation?
Yeah. Because I mean, the reason why I had to cut that off, and I've actually even said to an AE once, like, because she was telling me about how upset the borrower was, or how upset whoever was, and I was like, oh, why? You do realize that I am not a therapist, and we are not running a charity, so why are we talking about how the borrower feels and what these? I told you what we need. Are you gonna get that to us or what? So, I'm so just like,
oh yeah.
But it's because I have a quota to meet. I have to get the X number of loans underwritten and X number of loans CTC'd and X number of loans conditioned out, like reviewed. So talking to you about your problems is not my job.
Right.
Like, trying to do your job is not my job.
Right.
And like, if I'm going to do something for you in this job situation, then like, what are you going to do to make sure that I'm not on the radar for not hitting my numbers?
Right.
Like, right. But, and I think another thing that came up for me too, though, was, well, I wonder if this means, because obviously, I guess like you make a really good point about it's the authentic like identity, and well, because I want to start doing like more doing Ayurveda, which is more care. And in that scenario, I would not be telling somebody that I am not a therapist, right?
Yeah.
Like, keep your problems to yourself. That's not.
Send me a complete file and I'll consider your situation. Don't talk to me though.
The goals will be different. I don't know. I don't know if that's saying like I'm holding on too tightly to the idea that doing a good job is important.
Well, and doing your job and being disturbed are actually different. They don't have to be the same. So you can do your job and tell them no. I would always tell people, listen, my concern is not your borrower. My concern is protecting our investor. And so I mitigate risks. And if the capital is at risk, we say no. I don't care about your borrower if it has if it puts the investor at risk.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a broker that just wants to get paid. I am the lender. So like that, but I could tell them that and not be upset, even though I would also get upset with people as well. So the disturbance is the point that the course is talking about. What am I disturbed? I can actually engage and never talk to anybody and be at peace. The answer is no. Thank you so much for reaching out. I totally understand. I know that you want what you want because you're not getting paid and the borrower is going to be unhappy with you. And you're upset that the borrower is unhappy with you because you want to look good. And I want to look good and I want to get paid. So I get it. And no, I'm not going to talk to them because it's not my job. It's your job. My job is to mitigate risks. And I have done that. Denied. Have a good day. No, it could be with zero disturbance. The disturbance is your own internal resistance, which is this shouldn't be happening. You shouldn't be telling me this. I shouldn't be talking to them. I can't believe you even asked me. It's the resistance to the world as it shows up. And that's going to at least that happens to me, even though I'm aware of it all the time. And so the real question is not that you resist the world. The real question is, how long will you stay attached to your committed resistance?
I think for me, I don't know that in the moments when I was talking to them, I was really bothered. I felt pretty calm, and I felt confident that this is how this is what's authentic. Like I said, this is what's authentic to me. This is what's showing up for me. This is what I'm going to say. And
Sure.
But then afterwards is when I'm like, could I have been nicer? Could I am I being seeing this person as a hindrance? I am seeing this person as a hindrance because they are coming to me with things that are not relevant to my job when I am on the clock. And so I shut them down basically in the way that feels most authentic to me. I keep coming back to the authentic. I'm stuck on that right now because
it's your pattern. Authentic is just pattern. It's fine.
And I know it's
not the only way though.
Because to me, it's like, well, authentic is better than nice. You know, nice people are the worst because they'll be nice to your face.
Yeah.
But
it's deceptive.
Yeah.
Nice is deceptive in order for them to look good.
Right.
I get that.
And so, yeah, thank you. I feel a little bit better because
I agree. And so interesting when Denise was on our call and Carolyn, my wife, listened to our call, and she told me, she said, wow, Denise is so wonderful. I just love listening to it. And she didn't say this like this, but she said something like, she's so much better at you at talking to people because you're so unsympathetic. You don't cater to people's emotions. You don't have those niceties. Denise has like a gentle, kind, nice way about her that helps people open up, and she kind of went on like that. And I'm like, yeah, I don't cater to that because of what you're saying. Like, my habit, which I think it's what, my personality, my habit, you're using authentic for that word, but I think the way that I would put that is just my habit, the way I frame things is I would rather be clear than nice. And
also,
and it's fine.
It's also interesting that in Carolyn's view, Denise was nicer than you, because I actually feel like it's the opposite. I feel like Denise was very direct, and she kind of just tore us apart, like Kristen.
Yeah, that's funny.
She just went straight in there, just tore us apart. Whereas you're more indirect about it, I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you address the thing, but in kind of more like a roundabout way, which I would it lands for me much gentler.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that for her,
I do that intentionally. And what Carolyn was talking about was her delivery. I guess her delivery with niceties and her tone, and she's got a very motherly thing.
Yeah.
But that's just her perception, right? Everybody's got her perception. I disagreed with her perception. But
it's with the whole seeing oneness thing, it's I think that's what it is. When I am focused on getting my job done, and these people come at me with their problems. And I mean, because when they come to me and it's when it's a question about the underwrite, when it's a question about the file, I'm like, oh yeah, no, thank you for bringing that up, because it's this and this is the reason why. And oh, I see that it wasn't very, I could see how it wasn't very clear, so I can redo this part and then here you go, you know. But when it's these things that I deem as like laziness, right? Like, you're being lazy. If you had looked at what I had written up, and if you had looked at the file, then you would know that this is the issue. But you're being lazy and you're making your laziness my problem. And it's like,
Yeah.
so then that's like an othering, right? So yeah, I'm like, yeah, this whole like oneness thing is challenging when people are.
Well, it's I find it very interesting because I've just gone through that. I mean, in your exact situation, I've just been the guy on committee to approve a loan, and before that I wasn't the underwriter in general, but I was in charge of underwriting. Right, I was in charge of approving the loan, so I would underwrite my own deals before I submitted them, since I knew what we wanted, and I was in charge of originating, and so I had that hat as well. But now I am just an originator as well. So I feel like I've worn all the hats very recently, and I felt what you felt, and it's just interesting how my patience gets immensely greater once I just put on a different hat, a different role. So now I'm almost all originator. I don't have the title of president. I'm not in charge of underwriting, and I'm not in charge of selling the loan necessarily. I'm selling it to the investor, but to a person who that's it, their job. And now I suddenly have tons of patience to answer every call. So what's happened?
Your goals shifted.
My goals shifted. My perception shifted. The way I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the thing coming to me. The change didn't thing. The thing didn't change. I mean, the call is still coming in. It's still my phone. It's still the same contact. It's already in my phone. That person's already in my phone. They're still calling. They're calling me. They're calling about the same deal. And now I'm answering it. And as fast as I can. Versus before, automatic text that said, sorry, I'm tied up. Please, if this is a scenario, please email me. What shifted? Well, some life stuff shifted, yes, but my perception of the call, because of my story about my life, shifted.
Also, your capacity, like the level of busyness, I feel like is what shifted.
Yeah, but that busyness that I have, I don't have enough time. That's also a perception, because the reality is I'm only doing what I'm doing, and I'm too busy to do this is an idea, because the next thing is in the future, which doesn't exist yet. I really don't know how things are going to overflow. When I get stressed, which I do to myself all the time, but when I get stressed, what I'm doing is I'm putting in my mind all the things I have to do that I haven't gotten to yet. And so I'm trying to do what I'm doing, and I'm trying to metabolize how I'm going to do everything else in the future. So that's too much for the prefrontal cortex in general, right? For this human mind I have, it's trying to engage in the present moment. That's a prefrontal cortex thing. If it is in the brain, I'm trying to do all this stuff right now, which is impossible for the human. And that's where stress comes from. In reality, I'm just doing one thing at a time, one thing at a time, one thing at a time. And as soon as I try to think, I have all this stuff to do that I have to do right now, but I have to do them one at a time, but I have to do them right now, but I have to do them all. It's like, I have to do them all. Okay, one thing at a time. I have to do them all, one thing at a time. I have to do them all. And that's what freaks me out. Like, and then I can't it'll slow me down to even do the next thing. But that perception of I have to do them all and all the thing on my to-do list, or all your decisions you have to do on that day, it doesn't exist yet. In reality, in my perceived reality, of course it exists, and it's stressing the hell out of me. So that's, this is where perception and my created reality and real reality slam into each other. And this is, there's things like getting things done, the David Allen book, where you gotta just put on your to-do list in calendar and then forget about it and do what you're doing completely. Like, that's one of the practical things to deal with this as far as your brain goes. But ultimate reality is there is no future. That's a concept. There's only right now. And will I create a stressed future, or stressed current reality, or distressed current reality, because I'm committed that there's not enough time to do the future thing? And does that help? Does it help me to have that future thing accomplished, to be distressed right now? And, there's a case for it. There's also a really great case that being distressed is never helpful.
I can see that.
Doesn't mean you don't do what you need to do to get everything you need done because your boss wants you to do it. That's what it is. Good. But do I need to be a dragon warrior to the whimpering broker? It's nice to be a dragon warrior when the evil dragon prince attacks you, and then you can fight force with force. But sometimes we become dragon warrior, and it's just a whimpering, sad loan officer. It's like, oh, this is a little much. I'm sorry. So who knows? But here's the thing. There's another way. There's another way of looking at this. That's the point. I am making up my world right now. Do I like this? Does it feel good? Okay. The way to change it is not to change them. The way to change it is to let go of attachments. And what are we attached to? We're not attached to things, because there are no things really. We're attached to our ideas of the things. This is what this is, and it can be nothing else. So what idea am I attached to? So what's the thing that bothered you the most in that whole situation?
Well, what came to mind earlier was the whole opportunity to, by being more compassionate to the colleagues, it's almost like because there's parts of that lives in me, but I don't allow that for me. Like, I don't allow myself to wallow about, oh, this should have been blah blah blah. It's like, okay, it sucks that this happened. What's the solution?
Yeah.
Why are we wallowing right now? What good is that doing? That was basically what I was saying to both of my colleagues, right? Like,
yeah, suck it up.
Yeah.
Suck it up. Go do your job. Get out of here. This one's dead. Go find another.
Yeah. I thought you were just gonna say, watch yourself. I was like, okay, well, I'm watching. What do I watch for? But like, you said no, you gotta release. So like, what am I?
Yeah. Well, you said earlier, do your job, right? So that was you want me to do your job, or are you going to do my job? So it bothers you. so what's the disturbance? What's the belief? I don't know.
There's not enough time for me to do both my job and yours.
There's not enough time. There's a good one. Okay, so this is one I struggle with as well. There's not enough time. So there's not enough time. Is it true? First question. This is the work by Byron Katie. Is it true? There's not enough time. Is it true?
Sure seems true.
Seems true. Okay. Second question. Can you absolutely, positively know for sure that there's not enough time?
No, because until I review the 6 other loans, I don't know, like, unless I go in and look at exactly what's in each of those loans and go through it, I don't know how long it's going to take me to underwrite all of them. It can take 45 minutes, but more than likely it's going to take an hour and a half, because actually these days they've been giving me easier loans, but there was a while they were only giving me DTI loans and multi-packs with investors with multiple, like there was one that had 20 mortgages, and 8 of them were private mortgage, so they weren't even on the credit report in the system, so I had to manually enter all of them.
Oh my gosh, those private money lenders, can't stand them.
Yeah Anyway, so
you don't know,
but most likely there isn't enough time.
We don't know for sure, but likely there isn't. So there's an opening. So here is the thing to consider. There is a sliver of opening, right? Of maybe there is enough time. But when I'm distressed, it's because I have committed to the particular outcome of there is not enough time. And so there is a world where there is enough time, and there's a world where there isn't enough time. And which one feels better? So then third question, who am I, or how do I react when there isn't enough time, when my particular belief is true? When there isn't enough time. When there isn't enough time, who am I, or how do I react?
I act like I'm incompetent.
Like you're incompetent?
Right, because I ran out of time. I didn't manage the time well enough in order to get everything done that I needed to get done.
So I'm incompetent, which may be an initial reaction, but the secondary reaction was how you reacted to your loan officer.
Yeah.
And how did you react to her?
Suck it up.
Yeah. So I'm incompetent, this belief, there isn't enough time. So now I feel incompetent. And then when people come to help, my initial reaction is,
you're incompetent.
You're incompetent. Yeah. Interesting, right?
You're all incompetent.
Yeah. And so my perception of the world becomes projected out, which is what happens. So the fourth question, who would I be? How would I react if that could not be, if it didn't exist? If that belief that there isn't enough time didn't exist, who would I be, or how would I react?
Who would I be and how would I react? I don't know. Because I still don't want to be the person that, well, no, but if I was going to say, I still don't want to be the person that people think they can just dump their work on me.
Mm-hmm. So can you choose what you do and what you don't do? If there's enough time, do you have to do what you don't want to do, or shouldn't do?
Yeah, I could choose. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's there isn't.
So assuming you can choose, who would you be if there if there isn't enough time didn't exist? And you can reverse it, right? You can say there is enough time.
Hmm. If there is enough time, then I would have to confront that I'm not very kind to myself.
Yep, it's definitely one of the things that happens. But who would you be if there's not enough time didn't exist? Who would you be? How would you react?
I think I would be kinder.
Kinder.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. And so then this exercise can go really deep too. So then the last part is you turn it around. There isn't enough time. So the first turnaround is there is enough time. Could that be as true or more true than there isn't enough time? Do you have any historical data that there has been enough time to do your job, for example?
Yes, I have a lot of historical data that there hasn't been enough time.
Do you have any
Or I had to work until like 7 o'clock.
Do you have any historical data that shows that there has been enough time?
Well, recently, because they've been giving me easier loans because I told them I'm going to school full time and I can't work late, there
Yeah.
has been more time. But
Well,
even then, I'm like on the still working, sending out the last couple emails while the class is starting.
yeah. Well, how long have you worked in this particular role? 2 years?
At this company?
Yeah,
Yeah, a little over a year now.
a little over a year. So
Yeah.
for the last year, you've been doing your job, things have been getting done, and you still have a job. So something happened, right? Seems
Yeah.
like there's been enough time. However, it worked out. I don't know how it worked out. Sometimes we don't know how it's going to work out. In fact, maybe never we know how it's going to work out. But one thing seems like from the outside is there was enough time. Whatever happened, happened, right?
Mm.
So if whatever is going to happen is going to happen, my perception or my identity or to get me to do things or my belief, my story of how I run my day, if there's not enough time, how does that feel? Well, unkind, among other things, probably. How would it feel if there was enough time? Well, it would feel, I don't know, you didn't put a word on that, but it would feel better and you would be kind. Well, so if I'm going to do what I do, no matter what, could I let go of this idea that there's not enough time and trust that I'm going to figure out how to do whatever I'm going to do and allow myself to be kind? Because if there's not enough time, that is kind of like being attacked when people try to take your time.
Yeah.
And if you get attacked, it's very natural to defend, at least, which feels to the other person like an attack, usually.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be outright attack. Get the hell out of my office. Which I've done. So the point of all this, there is another way of looking at the world. There's another way of looking at things. And the point is not to do what other people want. The point is to be free. Can I be free with the same responsibilities? Yes. Me in Missouri, me in my office right now. Same everything. Everything was the same. Everything is the same. But one, before I was in bondage, after I'm free. What changed? My perception changed. That's the only thing that changed.
Mm.
There's another way of looking at this.
There is another way of looking at this. All right. And then,
And if it feels bad, just find the thing that you or hold on to, that your biggest judgment. That's how you figure out what you need to, what you can shift if you want. That's it. Da-na-na. Any final words?
no, I'll definitely let this marinate for the day and the weekend.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, this was fun. Little one-on-one session.
Yeah.
I got a little bit into I got a little too Denise on that one.
Yeah. Did you?
A little more what's it, how did you call it? A little more direct.
Direct, yeah.
That wasn't too tearing up. There's a whole different skill set of like coaching and engaging with somebody that I actually try to avoid. And I usually keep it, as you said, more roundabout. So I didn't ask for permission. Was this okay for you?
Yeah, this is
Okay.
great.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and I was only making observations about, the difference. I wasn't like criticizing.
No,
I really
yeah.
didn't come across as criticizing.
Oh yeah, I didn't take it that way. You were spot on.
Okay, cool. Well,
Okay.
thank you, Ron. Appreciate you.
Have a good day. I'll talk
Thank
to you
you.
soon.
You as well. Okay, bye.